Hey, 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 it's Christmas Day, which means work on my car today. Alright, so I bought a lot of cool stuff during Black Friday. Cool stuff is subjective. Cool stuff. Alright, what do we got? JPNZ manuals. I'm old school, so I like paper manuals. It looks like this guy translates the Japanese manuals into English, so 3 volumes. BMC 50, I think, master cylinder from Z1 Motorsports. Some spark plugs and a thermostat in there. I've daily drove this for a while now, and luckily this thing doesn't seem to burn oil or coolant, but this coolant, although at max, it also is max disgusting in there, so that's definitely going to get changed. The thermostat's just going to be peace of mind. Does that mean the timing belt got changed at 66? If I was less lazy, maybe I'd just use the Translate app, but you guys can leave a comment below and let me know. I got 3 belts locally. I found the sizes through the blog that Top Rank runs, but not quite the exact size for R33 GTST, but we'll see if these work. GK Tech stainless lines, GK Tech Brakemaster brace, poly bushings for the front tension rods. I think a bunch of 90s Nissans take the same one, 300ZX, S13, 14. And the crown jewel that was expensive as shit, R35 coil pack conversion from Platinum Racing Products. So if you guys watched my intro video to this car, you know I have a low brake pedal in this thing, so you would think a reasonable person would do the safety items, right? Like the brake master cylinder. But I am not a reasonable person, so today I feel like doing that coil pack conversion. Exciting stuff, because I know 90s car, there's a bunch of random hoses and bits that I'm probably going to break or not have the right one, but is it still an unbox video if I open the box already? What do you think, Dexter? Okay, let's see what's in the box. 6 OEM R35 Nissan coil packs. These boots are from PRP. Some hardware, wire harness, and then billet coil pack bracket. These come in a bunch of different colors. The theme is low-key with this guy, so of course low-key color for me. This should be a plug-and-play kit. There's 2 plugs on this guy, which includes 1 longer plug. But you can see some double penetration action here with the OEM igniter. And then that's our other plug. So I'm curious, does one get left out or something? And then which one is it? I'm sure we'll find out. Or stay here very late and not be able to drive the car home. Either one's a possibility. These 3 hold down the coil bracket. 6 for the coil packs. Apparently you can put the coil packs in here and install the whole thing as a unit, but this makes me kind of nervous, so I'm going to put this guy first, and then those, and then that. The same packaging for the bolts came with a hair of dielectric grease, which is a nice thought, but I think the guys who are installing these things are, you know, in the same boat as me, which we all have like a huge tub of this thing. You know, nice thought, but you know, not really needed. Alright, got my intercooler pipe off. You can see the exhaust pipe, intercooler piping, and it's gonna be tough to see, but yeah, there's some like rust spots forming in that guy. So this work of art has got to go for me pretty soon. On the plus, there's not a lot of blow-by inside this thing, which is a really good sign for me. I was actually expecting this thing full of oil, but alright, we're ready to take the cover off. Ta-da! Alright, so this wire harness clips into there, so don't just rip this guy off. So apparently RB engines are notorious for these wire harnesses turning into Captain Crunch because of this cover. These guys literally bake under here, so sure enough. This actually isn't terrible, but I've had Captain Crunchier than this. So I'm gonna unplug all these and to take the coil packs out. I forgot the reason I waited so long to do this was I was actually waiting for these spark plugs. So got these from Z1 Motorsports. These are the OEM recommended part number for the RB25 DET. But if you're going big boost or you're modified, they recommend like a step or two colder depending on the level of modification. But all right, so apparently the English translation for this thing is ornament. 20 to 29 Newton meters for these guys. I took the OEM coil packs out as a unit. This ground, be careful with before you just rip this guy out, because this ground actually bolts to that hole or shares that same hole. Another pro tip, whenever you're doing spark plugs, especially if you're down in a valley like this, get some compressed air, blow all of this out. You'd be surprised at the amount of trash that gets stuck in here. In my past life, I did a bunch of commercial vehicles where you can't even see where the spark plug goes, and you have to like reach your arm into the shadow realm to do spark plugs, and all sorts of nasty falls down into the spark plug tube. So yeah, before you do this, get some compressed air, blow all this out. Alright, so I immediately had a little bit of regret taking these Nismo spark plugs out. I imagine these were pretty expensive. These are orange on the tip. I'm not quite sure what that means. They also smell like the Asian countryside, which is not an exaggeration if you've ever been to Asia. A little bit more concerning, you can see the replacement plugs are like a hair taller, so I hope these are the right ones, but we're gonna find out or cry in a second. Alright, awesome. Got my coil packs in the coil pack bracket bolted down. Wire harness is plugged in. These loops will loop around the new wire harness. A few reasons why I bought this. So I think the LS coil conversion is half the price, but then I watched a video of a guy who had to, you know, at one point I saw this guy like do some Sharingan stuff, right? So regardless of the availability of those coils, imagine you're stuck in the AutoZone parking lot, like dropping Allens everywhere and like messing with all of this. So another reason I went with this kit, PRP says you can actually run the cover or leave it off, and the coil packs and the harness and everything will be rated for the heat that's under this cover. If you guys remember, that other plug actually was the OEM harness into the OEM igniter, so it's just two plugs that go into the factory wire harness. This bunch of wires right here, it's a tight fit back here, and I don't want stuff like chafing and stuff. I'd rather leave this loose. People regularly do not run these RB covers on top, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the back side of this to give some more room for Medusa back there. Alright, so here we are, all assembled. Still looks stock, minus the igniter's gone now. I know this looks gross, I'll fix this at some point. But yeah, most importantly, why don't we try to start the car, see if it actually runs. Come on. Come on. We're gonna start the car. Start the car. Come on. Yes. Alright. What do you think, Dexter? Is the car gonna start? No, so far so good. Alright, shout out to PRP. Looks like we're good to go.